Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about demons and Shinobis. So yeah, let us begin, ladies and gents. So we would go back to our boy Izuku after the battle between him and Asura. As he's as the dust settles, Yagyu would be there saying to herself, "Attack." I thought he might have. As before she can say anything else, she would see Izuku holding up the Alice blade towards the face of Asura. Or Asura. Ugh. Wait for a second, I me too. Oh, so before we actually, continue on with this video, I was not happy during the last banner. Oh god. Before we actually continue on, I've been trying to get freaking Idun in DX2, and you know what I get? Bullshit. So yeah, continuing on with this episode. As after the dust settles, they would see, or at least, Yagi would see Izuku wielding up the Alice knife, or Innocence, right in front of Ashura Lord. As Asura would say this, "As usual, Master, you're quite powerful," he would say. As he would lay down his arms, as he would say, "I yield." As after saying that, Izuku would just look at him as he would say, "Very well then, you may return." As after saying this, he would say, "Very well, my lord." As he would disappear. As after disappearing, he would look behind him and would see Yagyu. As Yagyu would say, that was, as he would say, "Yeah, just some light training," he would say. As she would say, light training. Yeah, that was light training. Yeah, usually it's much more intense, but unfortunately my classmates are not here, or my teammates, so I decide to fight against my demons. As she would say, I'm quite, I'm just confused. How is that light training, she would say. As Izuku would look at her, as he would say, I fought against God. What do you expect?" As she would say, I mean, yeah, but still. Either way, Izuku, she would say. As she would look towards Izuku, as Izuku would say, "Yeah, what is it?" As he would say this, "Yes, though I'm not as strong as I used to be." Anyway, as he would basically got up from his seat, or, got up from this, fight between him and, Asura, as he would say, "So, what do you want?" he would say. As she would say, "We're about to go now." As he would say, "Oh yeah, you had to stop that bastard," he would say. As she would say, "You're quite passionate. Do you really want to?" As you would say, "Yeah. I hate people that are basically hurting those demons. Even though demons most of the time are kind of evil, most are actually pretty much innocent. Some of them even still want to be, at least want to help humans. I mean, look at mine." It still pisses me off that man is doing this, he would say. As after saying that, she would say, "Very well, Izuku. Let's go then." After that, they would start leaving. So, after the whole, after being told of this, Izuku would say, "Very well then, let's go," he would say. After saying that, he would start leaving, as she would look back at the battle between him and Asura, as she would say, "That was incredible," she would say that to herself. After that, she would leave the area. So, after they arrived back at the, at the trading yard as both, our boy Kiria and also our boy, Kiria and Hanzo, as they would say, alright, let's get ready to go. But before we go, we're also going to be meeting up with with Guess and High. As after saying that, one of them would say, "Oh, and hey, Grandpa." As after saying that, as after Asuka said that, one of them would say, "Yeah, what is it, my granddaughter?" He would say, as she would say, "Well, I wanted to bring, you know, a certain group of ninjas to help us as well." As he would say, "Oh, sure. Who are they?" As she would say, um, they're, um, remember, Homura, she would say. After saying this, one of them would say, "Wait, are you talking about Crimson Squad?" As after saying that, the Asuka would say, "Yeah, grandfather." As Izuku would just say, "Who the heck is what? Excuse me?" He would say, as one of them would say, "Oh, yeah, they're, um, old friends of ours. Remember how we said that that Daidoji, we sort of defeated him? Well, they were used to be our enemies, but now they're working for us. Though they're now hated by the evil ninjas now." As after hearing that, he would say, "Huh, weird," he would say. As after saying that, one of them would say this, specifically our girl, Katsuragi. "Yeah, I mean, they're cool, but certainly not cool as you over there," she would say. As he would say, "Yeah, yeah, whatever," he would say. As after saying that, Hanzo would say, "Very well, my girl. Try and bring them up." Also, he would look towards Izuku, as he would say, "I want you to try and defeat Daidoji once and for all. After all, if he's going to be dealing with these demons, as you call them, it's definitely not going to be a good thing," he would say. As Izuku would just look at him, as he would say, "Got it. Now, let's get going," he would say. As he would get ready, as he would be wearing, as he's now wearing his, regular old, uniform for battle. As after doing so, they would start leaving to go to where, Crimson Squad is, to try and, bring them in to try and stop Daidoji. So, we would go to a different perspective, specifically to Homura, aka, the leader of Team Crimson Squad, as they're currently in their home, or more specifically in the, actually, what is the, I don't want to call it an outhouse, but I'm just gonna say a garage, essentially. So, as they're basically enjoying a meal of bean sprouts because of a certain girl over here. Honestly, I absolutely love her because because recently I started feeling like, why do I feel like she's basically me at this point? Because I prefer cheap shit. So anyway, continuing on, as while they're basically eating bean sprouts essentially, as they would hear a knock at the door, as Homer would say, "Huh? Who's? Why is somebody calling us? Or at least meeting us at this time?" she would say to herself. As one of them specifically, Hikage would say, "Guess I'll get it," she would say. As after doing so, she would open the door and would see, they would see, Hanzo, Team Hanzo, including that of Izuku, as one of the girls would say, "Oh, hey there, Asuka," said, Homura, as she would look over, specifically, what is her name? Specifically Hikagi, as she would say, "Oh, it's you guys." As she would notice Izuku right behind them, as Izuku would not, not be caring, obviously, because he's just here to, look after them and also and also saving the demons there. As she would say, who are you? She would say, actually, yeah, almost forgot this. God dang it! I remember that they did know him during that time. Yeah, as she would say, "Oh, it's you." She would say, as Izuku would say, "Um, who are?" As she would say, "Oh, the name is Sakagi. Well, we actually saw you a few days ago when you arrived here. Though, what are you doing here exactly?" As he would say, "Oh, we're trying to recruit you to try and help us with Daidoji, or whatever his name is." After hearing this, she would say, "Daidoji? What is he doing now?" She would say. As Izuku would say, "I'll just come in to explain," he would say. As when he came inside, do not make jokes about that. Anyway, continuing on, as the rest of, the Crimson Squad would look over, as Haruka would say, "Oh my. I never thought I could ever see someone like you before," she would say, as she would basically have a lustful look about across her face. Well, not as lustful as another group of evil ninjas. Either way, as Mirai would say, "Hey, you're the guy that we saw last time," she would say. As Homer would say, "Wait, you're the... Huh. Seeing you up close, you're actually do kind of look cute," she would say. As Izuku would blush, as he would say, whatever he would say. As he would sit down and notice that the place is chip as hell. As Izuku would not comment on that, as he would think, "I'm guessing they're pretty much off the grid for now, considering of what I heard about them." As one of them, specifically Yomi, would basically come up to him as she would say, "Hey, I want to ask," she would say. As Izuku would look at her as he would say, sure, ask away, I guess." As she would say, "Do you like bean sprouts?" Izuku would look at her as he would say, "I mean, sure. I mean, it's good." As she would say, "Okay then," she would say, as she would give off a heartwarming smile, which Izuku felt awkward by. As one of them would say this, specifically the short girl, aka Mirai. "Hey, what are you doing here exactly, and why are you wanting to recruit us for?" As one of them would say this, specifically, as Asuka would explain. After hearing it, they would say, "So, those things that you summon are called demons," said Homura. As you would say, "Yeah, but technically they're not all demons. Some of them are angels. But still, either way, can you at least help us? Considering that you used to work for him, there's definitely some idea that you can, give us on to take him down." Well, considering that he's also working, or at least what I think is, enslaving demons, I also need to help out as well. As after hearing that, all of them would agree, as they would say, "Sure, just as long as I get to beat on his ass once again," said, Homura. And so, they would decide to join and stop, you know, what's his face? I meant Dengen. I don't know why I keep confusing their names. Anyway, as dudes, after saying that, all of them would agree, and so they would start leaving to stop Dogen. And so this is where we're gonna be ending off this episode. So yeah, so bye bye.